Hey guys, I wanted to make this video because I'm sure a lot of you have had enormous prints like this subwoofer box I'm printing, and at some point in your print, after several days, in my case I'm on my fourth day, and this would have been my last day of printing, and I woke up at 7 a.m. to check on it, and I had this. Get it out of the trash can. It had started to, for whatever reason, under extrude overnight. I think I know why. I'm using auto bed leveling, but I did not set a fade height, and so I think when you're using auto bed leveling, I think at a certain point, because you're dealing with hot plastic and gravity, at some point you want to take the movement out of the z-axis. So on your LCD, you may have seen the option. It's called fade height. That's at what height it'll stop applying the auto mesh leveling. It'll slowly taper it off until it reaches, I don't know if it's in millimeters or layer height. So in the future I'll probably set that to like 15 or 20 so that it slowly tapers off, and then beyond that it won't make any leveling compensation at all. But I think what happened as this print grew taller and taller, I mean it's totally solid up to here, I think the nozzle became a little too far from the print, and so I ended up with about 2.5, maybe close to 3 millimeter, I'm gonna say about 2.5 of under extrusion, or where it may have been extruding fine, but it may have been, the nozzle may have been a little far away from the part. So I paused the print while I thought for a few hours on how I could salvage this print, because I'm almost through my second roll of plastic and I really didn't want to waste $40 worth of plastic. Then I remembered the baby stepping. So I came in here, and the first thing I did was I turned my print speed, it's more now, but I turned it all the way down to 10%, and I resumed the print. Once the print was resumed, I turned the fan down to about 50%, to allow the plastic to stay molten a little, or soft a little bit longer. And I'm printing at 20% now, and you can see even that it's very, very slow. Then I used the baby stepping, and the nozzle was sitting about 2.5 millimeter above after I removed the loose material and kind of cleaned the edges where I could, and it was a smooth surface to resume printing on. And so I started baby stepping down until it was just digging into the print, and I also turned the nozzle up from 205 to 210. I probably could have went up to maybe 215. I did not have a clog. When I resumed, it primed the extruder fine, but I won't be able to tell if I have salvaged this print for another probably 2 hours, because I'm going to continue printing at this speed for a while. And the reason I went a bit lower, I do not want to have any separation at all. If anything, because the nozzle is moving so slow and at a higher temp and without much of a fan, my theory is even if it digs into it, it's going to have an ironing effect as it lays down the next layers. Now the model will be off in height and shape by 2 millimeters, but I think I'll be fine for this application. Everything had a little bit of wiggle room. If I had waited any longer and it was like 5 to 10 millimeters, you know, I would have had to found another method or gave up on the print altogether. So yeah, you pause it, you increase your temperature 5 to 10 degrees, lower your fan. You could probably get away with disabling the fan completely, but I took mine down to 50%, and then start out at 10% when you resume the print. Baby step it down until it's just digging into the plastic, and it looks like it's laying down walls that are pretty smooth now, so I'm hoping that by digging in a little bit, it's ironing and laying down fresh layers that will have strong adhesion. There's going to be a lot of air pressure in this box, and I really don't want to have air leaks. If I have a few minor places, I can use hobby cement or some type of filler. But if it's pretty structurally sound, I'll be happy. So that's what I did, and I hope this helps some folks. I know when you design something this big and you've seen it come so far along, and then on the home stretch it fails, and you've wasted your filament and your time, that's pretty aggravating. But I'll do another video if whether this is a success or not, and hopefully this will save this print. If so, we'll see a speaker box in about 24 hours. Another side note, once I'm sure that this is sticking after a few layers, I'll probably up the speed to 50% in slow increments, and then I may go up as far as 80%. But for the remainder of the print, I'm going to stay at about no more than 80% speed. And I sliced it at 50 millimeters a second, 20% infill. I guess a way to know when you're probably at the right height, when you just start, like when it's doing the infill, when you just start hearing a little crackle where it's just, the nozzle is just digging into the print, and then you may want to back off just a little bit, maybe half a millimeter. That's probably about the sweet spot. So this is a new trick for me, and I hope it salvages your prints as well.